Hi everybody, that's Allie.
And that is Dash.
Welcome to our playdate,
where we choose a game, sometimes make up our own rules, and play for a while.
Enjoy listening and playing along.
Or don't. We can't hear you. It's a podcast.
There we go. That's what I needed. I don't know why it wasn't.
Yeah, the turn by turn.
Yeah.
Like this map is not helping me.
No, it was.
Why do you think I'm using Google Maps? I need you to tell me what to do step by step.
Oh, correct. Yes.
I don't care what a map looks like.
Do you remember MapQuest?
Yes. Cut to me in college. Literally the only reason I had a printer was so I could print out directions to go anywhere I needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I would print them out and I would just like have it next to me.
Yeah.
What?
Lean in a little. Well, I'm trying to give you subtle signals, and you're just.
I'm just
I'm like
glancing
off
out
camera.
the window.
Off camera, I'm giving you subtle signals, and you just what? What are you trying to tell me with your hand signals out of camera view?
Glancing out the window, just enjoying this beautiful morning.
You know, I'm not usually the passenger on rides. I'm always...
Do you have questions? I'm happy to answer passenger questions.
Well, I'm almost always the driver, right? So I'm always, on the rare few occasions when I am the passenger, even taking the normal routes that I always take, I start noticing things that I'd never noticed before, because when you're driving, you can't pay attention to what's outside.
Right. Sometimes I'm like, I swear that's new. Has that been there before? And they're like, oh yeah, it's been there 10 years. I'm like, wait, what?
I drive this route every day.
I have literally never seen this business before. I passed a business the other day. I'm pretty sure it's new, but I can't be certain. But it was one of those situations where like I was at a light and I just happened to be stopped in front of it. Uh-huh. So I was like glancing around like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And there's a Polish market. Oh. It's called like the Warsaw Grocery or something. And I was like, I feel like I would have noticed a Polish grocery store before.
Right.
But also maybe not. Because I know all the other businesses in that little strip.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, there's a Polish grocery store. I got to check it out.
That you were not aware of.
Yeah, I got to check it out. I don't know what they have. I don't know what Polish food is like, really, but... you want to play a game?
Yeah, let's do a podcast.
Let's do a podcast.
Yay.
Let's do that. Okay, so we're going to play a game we've played before, Stupid Deaths. I love this little casket box. Mm-hmm. It's a casket, not a coffin. And we've done this before. This is the game that made us a pro shuffling podcast. So if you want to know the story of that, go back and listen to our first Stupid Deaths episode.
Yeah. Or you can listen to our, what was it, our 100th episode? Our season finale of season 9.
Our season finale of season 9 episode.
Where we discuss.
Where we talk about how we became a pro shuffling podcast. So I have already shuffled the cards. The issue here is that the answer is on the front of the card. So I'm going to try to grab cards in such a way that I can't actually see the answer.
Okay.
So I'll read it and then we'll try to decide together if it's true. This is a true death, or if this is a false death, if this is made up. Okay. So first one, Bill Haley.
Okay.
Born 1925, died 1981. Bill Haley and his Comets, okay, that's real, were a 1950s rock and roll band whose biggest hit single was Rock Around the Clock. Ironically, he and saxophone player Rudy Pompili.
Okay.
Were killed by a large clock that fell on them at the Pittsburgh Union Station while on tour.
Okay, did Bill Haley and the Comets actually sing Rock Around the Clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
That part of it's real.
I mean, it would be, I feel like that's got to be a fun fact that we would have heard by, well, less than fun because people died, but a fact that we would have heard by now if the people who sang Rock Around the Clock
were literally killed
by a giant clock. So I'm going to say false.
Right. I feel like that would have gone around the internet once every 6 months.
Yeah, I
was today years old when I found out.
Correct. Like how often do you hear that a duck's quack doesn't echo, but we wouldn't have heard about the Rock Around the Clock band being killed by a clock?
A duck's quack doesn't echo?
It does echo, yes, but it's so low register that by the time it hits the wall or whatever and comes back, it's so low that you don't hear it.
Humans can't hear it.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's
Right?
just no, because like so an echo wave bounces and comes back,
Mm-hmm.
but every time like the distance it travels kind of kills the sound a little bit. So like it's, but by the time it hits the wall and comes back,
Humans can't hear it.
yeah,
Like our register of hearing.
Well,
but like
no,
you
because
can measure it.
it's not a frequency thing.
Oh.
It's just like the sound wave has gotten so minuscule that it's just really, really low. So I guess like volume wise, it's low.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So did Bill Haley and the Comets saxophone player die from a clock falling
I
on
say
them?
false.
False. We
Yeah.
got it right.
Yeah.
That was totally false.
Totally false.
That would have been so bad.
Oh man, but can you imagine if we would have been the first ones to beam on the internet that this happened? If this were true?
I know. That's how we get out.
Yeah, that's how we get out.
Okay.
That's how we become the Haktua girl.
No, that's just icky. That's just icky. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. Well, but she's making the most of it. So
Sure, but also, are you proud of yourself, and is your mom proud of you? And if the answer to both of those is yes, great. That's wonderful. But if the answer to one of those is no, I feel like maybe
maybe this wasn't the best.
right. Maybe this is like weird and exploitative, and our culture is really odd. Okay. Members of the film Zeppelin
Okay.
died 1970. What is the film Zeppelin? Have you seen it? Do you know what that is? Okay.
Unless it was a movie about Led Zeppelin.
I don't
Which
think
in
so.
itself is a parody of
Zeppelin.
the Hindenburg disaster.
Yeah. So during filming over the Irish Sea, a replica of SE-5 biplane and Alouette helicopter camera ship collided in midair. Assistant director Birch Williams, camera operator Skeets Kelly, please let that be a real person.
Oh yeah, Skeets is totally a real name.
And
Remember
pilot,
Skeet Ulrich?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
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 I just watched last Halloween. I watched Screed
Mhm.
for the first time. Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah.
All up in it. He's still alive, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I just found out Bill Paxton is dead.
Yeah.
What?
Yes. I still remember when it happened. He died really
No
young.
longer living legend Bill Paxton?
Yeah.
I was devastated.
I was too. I remember right after he passed away, we went to the Twister ride in at Universal Studios, and
Man.
we always used to because we memorized like his
Yeah, of
opening
course.
speech, and it was like, "Hi, I'm Bill Paxton, and this wasn't real. This was part of a movie." like just that whole opening speech.
We've been watching old action movies lately. And just like old movies from like the
Mhm.
80s and early 90s. And you know how many Bill Paxton is in?
A lot.
All of them. He's in all of them. He's in Terminator.
Mhm.
He's in Aliens. I think he's an Alien.
You know, he's an alien.
He's in Aliens.
Yeah, he's the guy who goes, "It's over, man. It's over."
Yep.
Yeah, he's that
He's
guy.
in
He's in Predator.
He's in Predator,
Yeah.
correct? He is in Twister, which I just watched yesterday.
Such a good movie.
He's in Weird Science.
He's in Weird Science.
He is in Weird Science. He plays the jerk older brother who
Huh.
like turns into a weird Jabba the Hutt turd creature
Okay.
at the end. Rest in peace, Bill Paxton. Okay,
Yeah.
so anyway, members of the film Zeppelin. Okay, so during the filming over the Irish Sea, a replica SE-5 biplane, Alouette helicopter collide. Okay, people that died. Assistant director Birch Williams, camera operator Skeets Kelly, pilots Jim Liddy and Gilbert Chomat, I'm not
Chomat?
sure, were all killed.
That sounds boring enough to be true.
I feel like that sounds true.
Yeah.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we
Imagine
do.
trying to film a movie when 4 people just died.
Yeah. Well,
Yikes.
I mean, we just kind of lived through that with the whole,
Rust.
yeah, with the Rust movie and the, one of the co-directors. And
Wild.
yeah.
And now there are laws. Back then, I don't even know what was happening.
Yeah, who
'Cause
knows
that was
what was going on.
1970. There
Right.
were no laws in the
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah. You want to hear about a crazy one? there was a flight one time, and you'll recognize the name Ric Flair. Was on this flight with Mr. Wrestling and I want to say Nikolai Volkov, which was like a really
There was a wrestler who chose the name Mr. Wrestling.
yeah. Well, that was his nickname. That was his name was like Mr. Wrestling something or other. And when the plane went
Mr.
down,
Jim Wrestling.
Mr. Jim Wrestling,
Mr. Jim Lucinda Wrestling.
Frank Mallory Wrestling. When the plane went down and it was advertised or whatever, Mr. Wrestling, I think it was Mr. Wrestling 2, died. And but the news came out that all of these wrestlers had been on the plane together. And I remember it was a huge deal. I wasn't alive for it, I think. But it was a huge deal because back then, good guy wrestlers and bad guy wrestlers didn't travel together because the idea that wrestling was real was still really, really prevalent. Oh, wait, no. Okay. So, yes, the news came out that this accident happened and Mr. Wrestling hurt his back, but still wrestled for another couple of months because he was like, no, I wasn't on that plane with Nikolai Volkov and Ric Flair. Why would I ever travel with them? So he wrestled with like a broken back.
Yikes.
Just to prove that he wasn't on the
Wait,
flight.
but didn't Ric Flair also
Yes.
get into... Was
Right,
it the same?
He was on that flight.
And he like really, really messed
Yeah,
himself
yeah,
up.
he really
and
messed himself
then people died and he like never really dealt with it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
People
because
died.
that I did.
Well,
I did
here's
read
the other.
about that.
The rumor is, and I don't know how because you hear different stories from different people. The rumor is that Ric Flair had switched seats
Yeah,
with the guy who died.
that's what I read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he had been sitting in that chair, we never would have had the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Which
Would have lost for the world? I don't know. I don't have feelings about it. Okay. Charles Chandler died 1915.
okay.
During filming of a scene in The Captive, where soldiers were required to break down a locked door, the extras fired at the door using live ammunition to give the scene more realism. Don't do that. But also, this is 1915.
Right. There were no
laws.
Yeah.
Laws happened basically because of The Crow, which was what, 1990?
prop laws. Yeah, like 90, early 90s.
One extra's stray live round was discharged, shooting another extra, Charles Chandler, in the head, killing him instantly.
Oh my God. That sounds real.
It's 1915.
Yeah.
Also pre-laws.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yes, true.
And there were also, like, movies were crazy back then. Like, there weren't laws protecting animals at all.
Or actors.
Or
Like, they
actors.
would fully they did this to Marilyn Monroe. They would fully just put her on a ton of drugs and be like, put on this dress and say these lines.
Right, yeah.
And she was like,
Yeah.
It was a wild time.
There was, I remember hearing about it in my film class. And trigger warning, this is going to talk about animal cruelty. So if you don't want to hear that, just fast forward, hit the forward 30 seconds a few times. There was a movie, it was, I believe it was a Japanese film, where they shot a war scene and they just killed hundreds of horses.
Yikes.
Just,
Big yikes.
bad. Because they were just like, all right, cool, these are just dispensable
Big
props.
yikes.
Yeah.
Laws are great.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's
Sometimes.
one. James Dean. I think I actually know this one, so let's see.
Okay.
Born 1931, died 1955. Do you know how he died?
I believe he died in a car accident.
Yes. Yeah, let's see. It is well known that James Dean died in a convertible car,
There you
but
go.
that's not the whole story. James had been in his car, but was actually struck by a falling palm tree, killing him instantly where he sat.
So he gets into the convertible car accident, but then gets struck by a palm tree? No, that sounds false.
Killing him instantly where he sat where?
In the driver's seat, I guess. But to
no,
me,
that's false.
yeah,
He
to-
died in the car accident.
the irony was that he was shooting a movie about car racing at the time,
right?
Like, that's the real...
No, that's false. He really died in a car accident.
But
Like Paul Walker.
Like Paul Walker, yeah. Well, what a crazy random happenstance that he's
who also made lots of movies about fast
car racing.
cars.
Well, he did the movies about fast cars because he loved racing cars. And he always said it, like, if I ever die in a car accident because I was going too fast, I died with a smile on my face. Which is
You also could not do that.
Right,
Also an
right.
option.
correct, yeah.
Also an option to just not
Uh-huh.
do that.
Right.
Or do that in a more controlled environment, especially
Yes.
when you're a rich person
Who can pay for track time?
pay
or
for
whatever,
you can pay for a track or a
Some people
race
people
car
chase their
or
thrills. Others
I
going to chase their
guess.
thrills.
If you're at peace, that's your business.
Yeah.
But it's just sad.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a sad thing. He was
Not
really
that
young.
he was the greatest American actor alive, but you know, he was in the Skulls.
He was in The Skulls.
It's in the Skulls.
Actually, you know what movie of his I love?
What?
There's a movie called Running Scared, which was a diversion of his typical race car kind of movie films. And he's like I guess they reveal this at the beginning of the movie, so it's not really a spoiler. But it turns out he's like an undercover cop, and he ends up coming into possession of an illegal firearm. No, sorry. He comes into possession of a firearm that is evidence against the guy he's trying to get, but then somebody steals that firearm, and now he's got to try to get that firearm back. And it's just a solid movie, like the way it's a very Guy Ritchie type film where it's like the fast edits and all that stuff, and like stuff's happening everywhere at the same time. It's very cool movie.
Sounds like an issue with some procedures there
Yeah.
that really should have just been addressed.
Yeah.
What do you call it? The chain of
The chain of
evidence or something like
evidence.
that. Yeah, that sounds like
Chain of possession.
something like that. Something like that, where they know exactly where
Who
it's been.
had it and whatever,
That
yeah.
seems like
Well, if I remember
They should
correctly, like
address that.
he's an undercover cop, but basically the mob boss or whatever kills somebody, he unalives them, and then gives the gun to Paul Walker to get rid of. But Paul Walker's like, great, you just gave me the evidence I needed to
get you.
get you, which is exactly why I'm here. So he takes the gun and puts it away, but then like the next door neighbor's kid takes it. And it's like a whole it's actually a really great movie.
Yeah.
He was also in Brick Mansions, which is a remake of a movie called District B13, a French film that like went viral on the
Sounds
internet.
sci-fi.
No, it's not really.
I'm thinking, what is it? District
9.
District 9, I
Yeah.
guess maybe is what made me
Yeah.
think of
I
that.
have both movies. I will lend them to you so you can watch them because they are top notch.
I mean, the Skulls, though.
Yeah, The Skulls.
Yeah, okay.
With Pacey.
Joshua Jackson
Yeah.
shows some respect. One of two of Vancouver's finest. If you know who the other of Vancouver's finest is. I see you. Okay. Unnamed Ben-Hur stuntman. This already sounds real. Died 1925.
Uh-huh.
An early filming attempt of Ben-Hur's iconic chariot race was done on location of the Circus Maximus in Rome. It brought about the death of one of the stuntmen when a wheel from his chariot broke. I feel like
Facts,
we did
yeah.
this one before.
I know, but I know this one, so yeah.
You
true.
know this one?
Uh-huh.
So true?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds true.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. It was because, again, it was before any sort of protections or laws were in place. Two goofs about that movie, just to lighten up the conversation. Number one, there is an extra in the film who is still wearing his very modern watch while wearing the togas and stuff in the Ben-Hur times. And in another one, when the chariot flips over, when one of the chariots flips over, you can see the mechanism underneath it that is used to flip the chariot over during the scene. So yeah, just a few goofs.
I've never
Okay.
seen Ben-Hur.
I've had no interest in watching it.
Yeah.
Just none. Yeah.
Yeah. I like guys in togas and leather skirts. I'm generally
You're
into
pro that?
I'm generally into that.
Uh-huh.
But usually there's also just a lot of fighting and beheading and blood and things like that. And I love a sword fight, but I don't love just like brutality.
Okay. You would not like
Like
the new
Troy.
Deadpool movie.
Yeah, like Troy.
Uh-huh.
Troy's a terrible movie, but the fight scenes are really good.
They are. Yeah.
Like they're very well choreographed fight scenes. That I like.
Yeah. Want a fun fact about that movie? This is why we need to do a movie season. I have so many fun facts. So you know, there's a scene in
That
that
we
movie.
have not researched. I am not confirming or denying these fun facts,
Yeah,
by the way.
correct. Yeah. So Eric Bana
Yes.
and Brad
Familiar.
Pitt
Mhm.
get into a fight in the movie. So they trained extensively. And
Eric Bana's in it?
Yeah, he's no, Paris is Orlando Bloom.
Okay, that's who I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
Eric
Orlando
Bana.
Bloom's brother in the movie, whose name I can't remember now.
Sure.
Hector.
Sure.
So they have their big epic fight scene in the movie, and they have been training and all this stuff, and they came to an understanding that they were going to go all out, and for every hit they accidentally landed for real, they would pay each other X amount of dollars. At the end, so let's say the payment was like $20 for every time I hit you for real.
Yeah.
Eric Bana ended up paying Brad Pitt nothing, and Brad Pitt ended up paying Eric Bana like $2,000 or something like that. It was ridiculously lopsided how many times they hit each other. Brad Pitt hit him for real. Poor Eric Bana. He gets a bad rap, man. He's such a good actor.
Does he?
Well,
I like him.
it was
I think
because
he's
he did the
great.
Hulk, and that was a terrible movie, and he gets the rap for it, but he did a really good job in it. It's not his fault the movie sucked.
Yeah, like Wonder Woman 1984, garbage.
Right.
Pedro Pascal is the best part of the whole movie.
Yes.
I was just watching Twister. Twister is funny,
It's
and it's kind of garbage, but also
It's
is
so
great.
good.
And Philip Seymour Hoffman, who I didn't realize was in it,
The-
tears up every single second that
Yeah.
he's on the screen.
that's
He tears it up.
yeah, that's what's on his resume. When his agent calls and was like, "Hey, I heard you're making a movie about storms. Philip Seymour Hoffman would like to be a part of it. Oh, what can he bring to the film? He will eat every scene he's in.
He will devour it like the tornadoes it is about. Thank you.
Righteous.
He's so good.
He's so great in that
May
movie.
he rest. Okay.
Ah,
And so young. He was just a
I
little
know,
baby.
I know.
Oh.
I think the last film he made. No, was it?
Also, the
Yeah.
Twister soundtrack slaps.
Oh yeah.
There's Lisa Loeb on there.
How about a little Carrie Elwes in Twister?
A little Carrie Elwes in Twister. Always a fan of Carrie Elwes. The first scene, here's a fun fact. So, the first time we see Helen Hunt as Helen Hunt,
We had a
right?
huge crush on
The
her
grown-up
kid,
little
by the way.
girl. Who doesn't? The song she's listening to is a Tori Amos song.
Okay. Yeah.
And the opening lyrics to that song are, she's chasing tornadoes and just waiting calmly.
That was on purpose. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it sure was. And I wouldn't have known that when I watched it, but now,
With,
having loved
like,
Tori
subtitles.
Amos for a decade and a half, or longer, 2 decades, let's be real. Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, how fun is that?
That's awesome.
Okay. Let's do a couple more. Okay, so John Banner, born 1910, died 1973. John was the star of the TV comedy Hogan's Heroes, playing the lovable Sergeant Schultz. But not everyone found the show so funny. Hans Schultz, an ex-German soldier who fled to the USA after the war, shot John dead on his doorstep, saying he made us look like fools.
Oh, wow.
That is dark.
Yeah. And I also feel like that might be true. Didn't we listen to a whole podcast about this particular murder?
About Hogan's Heroes?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, I feel like I did.
I know very little about Hogan's Heroes. I know it was a show that existed.
Yeah, right. I believe.
So you want to say true?
Yeah, I believe Hogan's Heroes were a group of prisoners of war, and they were like taken captive by the Nazis. Yeah, German soldiers, right?
Yeah. It was like
So,
a
yeah.
World War II thing.
Yeah, it was a
for
World War
sure,
II
but
thing, and then there
I
was
don't
like
know much
the
about
Nazis
that.
were like bumbling fools, and Hogan's Heroes used to like run around and escape and have tunnels under the camp or whatever. Like they couldn't escape it was like Gilligan's
just
Island,
a-
but in a Nazi
Just a
camp.
whimsical sitcom about POWs.
Right, exactly.
Fun.
Exactly, that's what it
Fun.
was. So I think
So you're gonna say true?
I'm gonna say true.
I don't want it to be true. Yikes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll agree with you. True.
Okay.
False.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good. I'm glad
good.
that was false.
Okay, good. I'm glad that was false.
Glad it was false. Let's do one more.
Okay.
I'm just grabbing from like random spot and then trying to cover up the answer. Okay. Oliver Hardy, born 1949, died 1957. Okay, quick observation.
Isn't this Oliver Hardy from
All
Laurel
the-
and Hardy?
All the ones, yes, all the ones that have had a born and a died so far have been false, and the ones that just say died have been true.
Interesting.
Just an observation.
Observation, okay.
The heavier half of the world-famous Laurel and Hardy comedy duo
Right.
loved the wilder side of life, and once bet Stan Laurel $100 he could safely eat a wild mushroom.
Ooh.
Hardy ate the mushroom and won the bet, only to die 7 days later from total organ failure.
Oh, okay, here's my question.
I think there are wild mushrooms that will fully kill you.
You could also be allergic to mushrooms.
But normally it's just like you get an upset stomach for a couple of days.
Right. Because it doesn't say whether or not he had like pre-existing conditions and stuff.
Do you know if Hardy died in 1957?
I don't know when he died.
I don't either.
But I also feel like, isn't that how Fatty Arbuckle died?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Fatty Arbuckle was in the throes.
Okay. Oh, right. He was making the beast with two backs.
Yes, he was in the throes of activity.
Yeah, I'm gonna say true.
You're gonna say true?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with false.
There's a lot of detail in there that could lead it to be false, but
okay.
Yeah.
So you say true, I say false. False.
False.
I was right. I'm telling you, when it says the born and the died.
Yeah, false.
Okay, let's do one more.
Fascinating. Okay. By the way, we're headed to Homestead from like the Coral Gables area of Miami. And if anybody ever says, yeah, move to Homestead, you're within driving distance of Miami, no. That's not.
I mean, here's the thing. Technically you are. Right? Like, technically anything is in walking distance.
Driving distance.
No, anything is
is
in walking distance.
Yeah.
And anything is in the contiguous United States, also Central and South America. Anything is in walking or driving distance. It's just a matter of how long you care to walk or drive. That's really what it is. And I do not care to drive this one.
No.
It is so long of a drive that we're doing a podcast episode. Okay?
And
just
we're
keep that in
still
mind.
in the same county, apparently. So
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, anytime my friends are like, hey guys, look, I have no choice, I have to move to Homestead. It's like, well, it was nice knowing you. You may as well move to another country.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I have to get my passport stamped every time I come down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
True. Last one. Okay. Antonio Spinelli, born 1907, died 1979.
Killer name.
Well, totally. Remember Spinelli from Recess?
Yes.
Loved her. Okay.
Yes.
While on a promotional tour in Mongolia, famed spaghetti western star Spinelli tried his hand at camel racing. Fun! Unfortunately, Italy's most famous cowboy was unfamiliar with riding camels. After failing to stop, Spinelli plunged to his death from a cliff along with his camel.
Oh, no.
I don't think a camel would just
I
walk
don't think
off
a camel
a
would
cliff.
just walk off a cliff either, yeah. I'm going to say false.
I think camels are smart enough to not do that.
Right.
I'm saying false.
I'm saying false.
False. Oh, nailed it.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about horses, right? Is like you can't drunk drive a horse. You can just get on a horse.
You can
and
get on a horse.
It'll just take you home.
Yeah.
Right? Like the horse does the driving, really. So, but the same thing with camels.
I mean, you can sort of guide it.
Right, but even a camel
horse will be fine.
Right. It'll just be like, hey, thank you for leading me to this water. I will not be drinking. Thank you for your offer.
Correct. And I also don't think. I mean, I'm sure camels can run.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, they can. Yeah, absolutely, they can.
But like,
They do camel races.
a camel just like running off a cliff.
Right.
Camels,
It would have to be a very
It's not a
drunk
lemming.
camel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lemming.
Fun fact about the lemming thing. That was false.
What do you mean
Yeah.
it's false?
So that is from an old documentary called Nanook of the. No, it wasn't Nanook of the North. It was Wild Kingdom. It was an old documentary, but they had like heard rumors about the lemmings doing this and could never actually get it on camera. So then they just pushed the lemmings off a cliff.
Oh.
Which again
I don't
goes
love
back to
that.
what I was saying earlier about like, yeah, animals are just props in movies. But yeah, so the lemmings don't actually just follow each other off a cliff. They were pushed off to get the footage for the documentary.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still, this is a thing that we know, but the saying still persists that if you're a lemming, you will follow somebody even until you're doomed. There's even video games named after it called Lemmings.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. Look it up. Look it up. It's a incredibly interesting movie fact.
All right, everybody. Well, that was
Stupid
Deaths. That was Stupid Deaths, the frightfully funny game from University Games. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
On our little road trip episode.
Yeah, we rated it before, and again, just so you know how long this drive was, we recorded an entire podcast, and we are still 10 minutes away from our destination.
So you know what? If you commute from Miami to Homestead or Homestead to Miami, this will get you there. This episode, it'll get you right there.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
This is the Homestead Drive episode.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, until next time, little ghosties. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Now we'd love to hear from you.
You can visit playdatepod.us to watch our videos,
Access our episode library,
find out more about our brand of quality, clean comedy.
and contact us with any questions or comments.
Improvisers love audience suggestions, so make sure you visit playdatepod.us.
And the podcast you just heard was a production of Society Circus Players.
If you like what you heard today, please rate, review, subscribe, and share it with a friend.
And finally, if life's a circus, we're the clowns!
Oh, it just started raining.
Yeah, great timing.
Ew.
I know. And it's a sun shower, too.
Yeah, why?
What is the Michigan saying for sun shower?
There isn't one.
Really? You don't have one?
No.
So
we don't have sun showers.
in Cuba...
You're like, oh, it's sunny. It's not going to rain.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah. In Cuba, fun fact, this is one of those things that persists from country to country despite those countries and cultures not having any actual contact with each other. It always has something to do with the devil, right? So,
Well, that makes sense.
yeah, right? So, like...
Everything good is
Right.
God or whatever gods you
Uh-huh.
believe in or whatever, and
Yeah.
everything bad is if you
Devil
believe in the
related,
devil or witches or dark magic or whatever. Yeah.
So
Before science.
in Cuba, it was the devil's daughter is getting married.
I didn't know he had a daughter. Congrats.
Oh, yeah. And another one is that the devil's beating his wife, and another one is that the devil is beating his daughter.
Yeah.
There's one where the devil is sad. But for some reason, every culture has adapted, oh yeah, it's sun shower, it means the devil is doing something.
I just equate it with I think it was a Chris Cornell song called Sun Shower. It's actually just
Yeah.
a really beautiful song.
Yeah, it is.